Well, hey guys, thanks for tuning back into my channel. So today is Saturday. My husband got off work really early this morning. It is now 1:20 in the afternoon. I need to be quiet. But in the previous video, we did the witch. So today's video is going to be everything about the cauldron. Gonna have loads of fun. We're gonna paint it. We're going to create a base for it. So if you want to know how to make a miniaturized cauldron for your dollhouse, for your gnomes, whatever it is you want, keep watching. Alright, so here I have pulled out my bag of air dry clay. I had this bag forever. Oh my goodness, just double bag it and it'll keep forever. But anyways, I am making the bones, and so I'm using the little skulls as a reference as to just how big to make these little bones. So I just roll a little tube, and then I take this little dental tool that I got from Harbor Freight, and I just kind of like splay open the ends so that it's like a kind of a bone shape. So I'll make a bunch of these little bones out of air dry clay. They don't take very long to dry. I think they dried in like maybe 2 hours and they were ready to be painted. So here I am just making them little bones. Super easy. Alright, here I am painting the bones, and I used pavement and white, and you want a kind of a heavy dry brush. Not like that first one, it was a little bit too heavy. You want to do it like the second, third, and fourth, and so on. Those ones were much better. The first one was way too dark. Super easy. So these things dried in no time. So you guys can totally do this. Think you can do it? I think you can. I have faith in you. You will have so much fun making this, just like I did. Hey, if you'd like to help support my channel, come on over to buymeacoffee.com. Buy me a cup of coffee and tell me about yourself. And if you want a shout out, just let me know, leave me a message, and I'll give you a shout out here on my channel. So the link to the buymeacoffee.com is below. Alright, so now I'm taking the white paint and I'm just doing another dry brush to kind of taking down the intensity of the pavement color, because I'm trying to make them look like they've been sitting in ashes and been burned for a while. So they're not white, they're not black, they're just ashened. And so I'm basically trying to make it look like an ashened, burned bone. Alright, so here I am making the wood, and you see, yes, the bones are not painted yet, but I made all of the bones and the wood at the same time. So here's the very first one, and I split the log like it was a Y, and then all the other ones, I just made them into a log. You just roll them into a log, and then you flatten each side. Then you take the little dental tool, and I got that dental tool again over at Harbor Freight, and I'm not poking it or scraping it. I'm actually just laying it in there and pushing the tool down into it to make little extra lines in it to make it look like wood. That's all to it. So now I'm going to be doing these lights. And I had originally bought orange lights, but unfortunately at Dollar Tree they were actually cut. So I had to get these ones, and they're white. I don't want white, fire's not white, so I need to paint them. So I have my pumpkin orange paint here, and I'm going to dip it in the water and dilute the paint. And then I'm going to paint the LED cover. You can totally do this. It doesn't hurt them. It'll dry kind of translucent. And off camera, I actually put a couple little drops of red to make it look closer to fire. I did not get this on film, but you get the gist of it. Just paint them onto the little LEDs. Are you enjoying this video so far? I sure hope you are. And you know what? If you are, please hit that like button And why not hit that subscribe button while you're at it? It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying my content and that you want me to continue making these videos for you. So head on over, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and if you want to get notified when I upload a new video, hit that notification bell and choose all notifications, and that way you get notified when I upload another one of these videos.
Alright, so I got these skulls here and got them off those ribbons, and what I want to do is put some gems inside of each of their eyes. Now, if you don't have access to these little gems here, you can get them online. They are 10 millimeter, I think there's 10 or 12, I have to look it up, millimeter hot fix gems, and this is for putting on to shirts and or anything else that you want to iron on designs. But I'm going to use these as little eyeballs. If you don't have that, you could use mica powder, or you could use glitter, or you could just use paint, but I'm going to use 2 AB gems. I'm going to use 2 sky blue gems and 2 green, or if you are an August person like me, a peridot. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of gem tack. Gonna squeeze a little bit here on my little Dollar Tree mat. Make sure you clean it up right away, or else you'll have a dollop of glue. Take a toothpick. Put my trusty glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. And
now these little gems were kind of hard to pick up with them tweezers, but I managed. It's not hard, just a little bit of gem tack. It'll pop right on in there. Those little 6mm hot fix gems, they fit in there absolutely perfect, and they look phenomenal.
alright, let's make the lid for this. It's actually not going to be a lid, it's going to be the top where we see the bubble and brew. So what we'll need to do is we need to cut a piece of plastic that's a little bit bigger than the cauldron. First we're going to take off the handle because we don't need the handle. And then we are going to draw a circle about the same size as the lip of the cauldron itself. Take a pair of clippers, cut it out. Now we need to cut a circle for the stick to go in. You can also use a small hole punch if you have one of those, or even your Cricut machine. I'm going to cut an extra length, and I'll adjust it once I get it on the witch. Now what we'll do is glue this piece of plastic to the top of the cauldron. next we're going to want to make some drips on here. So take our little bit of glue.
Hey, so what do you think? Think this looks pretty good? Think you could do it too? I think you can. I have faith in you. Give it a shot. It's only a couple of bucks. Why not?
Now we're going to take them googly eyes and we're going to make them actually into bubbles. So we'll decide how big and how many we want. I want some really small ones, and I want some medium ones. Alright, so that should be enough bubbles. They don't quite look like bubbles yet, but they will. So now we're going to paint the top of that and all of the drips. And so this is neon green and a tiny bit of burnt umber. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover over the bubbles and all of that plastic, all over the lid. Alright, so now this is dry. Next color will be neon green, a little bit of burnt umber, and some white to make it slightly lighter. I'm going to add them to the bubbles and to the dribble. Take a little fine brush and we'll dribble a little bit along the edge. So now we want to do a little bit of like a swirl around the bubbles. Right, so we'll let the bubbles dry and then we'll put little dots on them. Alright, bubbles are still a little wet, but I took one of these bones and I cut it in half, and now I want to glue it inside of the bowl. Alright, so while we're waiting for that one last bubble to dry, let's do a little bit of dry brushing on the pot. So I have some burnt umber, some nutmeg brown, some black, and some red oxide. So we're going to do a little bit of mixing here. I think I want to add a little bit of white into that mix.
Alright, so I'm dry brushing on the side of this cauldron. And then this is actually the red oxide, the big bottle of red oxide you can get from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going around the dribbles to make it look like it kind of got rusted or oxidized from the goo on the side of the cauldron. Makes it look way more realistic, where it has kind of like a damage from all of this green goo coming off the cauldron. And now it's Mod Podge time. So here I got the high luster Mod Podge, and I'm just covering this entire cauldron, the top and the sides. Don't worry about the bottom, nobody will ever see it. It's going to get glued down anyways. But I make sure that I cover this whole cauldron all the way around with the high luster gloss Mod Podge. Just one layer, that's all it took.
But I want to make the base for the cauldron. Cut this open. This is that foam clay. It's really light. It's almost like Sculpey light. But it is called Bazic. B-A-Z-I-C. So. I want it the same size as her platform. Thought about making another wood one. That would add even more weight. And I should not be doing this on my cutting mat. I should be doing it on the silicone mat. So I'm going to move that away.
Hey, so what do you think? Think this looks pretty good? Think you could do it too? I think you can. I have faith in you. Give it a shot. It's only a couple of bucks. Why not?
And now we're going to take these and put them around the cauldron. And I almost forgot, we need our lights too. This would have been bad if I would have forgotten the lights. Turn them on. Okay, so now I'm going to take that air dry foam clay and stuff it in here. cover up the wires.
I see a lot of you come by and watch my videos, several of them, and over again. And yet, some of you are not subscribed. Why not hit that subscribe button? It lets YouTube know that you really like my content and you want me to continue to make these videos. I would totally appreciate it. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it helps my channel out. Why not hit that subscribe button? Why not hit that like button? I'd love to meet with you. Leave a comment down below. Let's have a conversation. Let's be crafting family.
Alright, so we gotta let that cure, then we'll give it a nice little paint job. Paint it up like it's on fire, a little bit of black, a little bit of gray, so on and so forth. Finish off her hair, put the cap on that, and make sure that this is mounted to that, and if not, we have to do a little bit of gluing there, but then after that, she will be done. So, we'll be back as soon as this is cured. It takes 24 hours. Alright, so I put the cap back on this. But I need to tape or glue. I had to glue the base to it, so I took some gem tack and actually glued it along there. But I need to glue the electrical cord to the base. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of masking tape and I'm going to tape this down. And then I'm going to put some gem tack right along the edge. Take my trusty toothpick. A little bit of gem tack.
Hey, if you'd like to help support my channel, come on over to buymeacoffee.com. Buy me a cup of coffee and tell me about yourself. And if you want a shout out, just let me know, leave me a message and I'll give you a shout out here on my channel. So the link to the buymeacoffee.com is below.
Alright, we'll wait for that to cure and then we'll move all the way to the back, for which we're going to do a little bit of putting the wire up inside of her dress, but I'll show you that when we get back as soon as that is cured. Alright, we're almost in the home stretch, so this is now all dried and all we're left is to put this in here and then paint the front. So what I want to do is leave the screw part up, and what I'm going to do is shove this wire up inside of her dress, but very carefully, be very ginger about it, because if you're rough you might break your clay. So I'm going to stuff it up inside there, and then what I want to do is glue the battery pack to the back of this, and I'm going to use a little bit of E6000 for that.
Are you enjoying this video so far? I sure hope you are. And you know what? If you are, please hit that like button. And why not hit that subscribe button while you're at it? It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying my content and that you want me to continue making these videos for you. So head on over, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and if you want to get notified when I upload a new video, hit that notification bell and choose all notifications, and that way you get notified when I upload another one of these videos.
And now I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue on the bottom. Let that cool. We'll be ready to paint where the cauldron goes. Alright, so we're now ready to paint this. We're going to use a little bit of elephant, pavement, and of course black. Sorry, it's late at night and my cat loves to, I don't know, meow. Who else has a cat that likes to meow all the time? She talks to her toys, she goes running up and down our hallway, stomps like an elephant, and is very loud. Who else has a cat like that? Alright, so let's do a little bit of mixing. We'll take a bunch of elephant gray, some pavement. Scoot this over so you can see me mixing. I usually test out my colors off camera and then decide this is the color I want, but this time I'm gonna let you see my process. I like that. So let me scoot this witchy lady back over. And I want to be mindful about where I'm painting because remember we have all them bones and wood in there. Probably want my detail brush. Alright, it is all painted and we're finally ready to put the cauldron in. And we'll be done. So I'm going to take some gem tack because I want a little bit of work time. I don't want to use hot glue because it's like an instant. It'll grab it and I won't be able to move that thing around. So I'm going to stick some gem tack down in here. It also has low odor, so I like that option rather than E6000 because it stinks pretty bad. Going to work this cauldron in here into between her hands. Now I'm not going to get a perfect hold on her because her hands actually moved while they were baking, her whole arm and everything, so I am not going to glue her hands only because the cauldron stick is not actually in her hands. I would recommend if you're going to bake it, put whatever it is it's going to be. If you're going to use something like this, then you need to kind of cover it so it won't burn. But if you're going to use something metal, put it in there before you bake it so that it holds its position, or put supports. That's probably what I should have done, was put supports. Alright, let me pull the tape off of here. We'll see if our battery pack is going to stay in place. So far so good. Stuff the rest of the wires up under her dress. Grab my tweezers. Where did mine? Didn't get to use my other tweezers. Probably should move my paint, or else I'm gonna get it everywhere. It's already all over my hands. If you're wondering about these tweezers, I actually got them from Amazon when I ordered some heat transfer vinyl. These came free. go. So now I'm going to glue down that piece right there. With some gem tack. Wipe up my glue, and she's just about done. I just gotta wait for that to cure, but I will get you a frontline view. She is finished.
Well, hey guys, she is all done. I'm just waiting on the last little bit to dry, so I still have the tape on. But there she is. Let me turn the lights on, and then I will turn my lights off. Let's see. Hopefully it gets dark enough you can see. Oh, let me turn off my overhead. It's spooky dark now, but you can see her lights. Oh, let me turn off that sign. You can just barely see the lights. In person, you can see the lights when the lights are on. So let me turn my lights back on. Proper recording takes proper lighting. And my stool requires a little blanket for me to sit on, because it's hard to sit on this thing for like 5 or 6 hours at a time. So it is midnight. Actually, it's 9 after 12. And today is officially the 1st of September. I started this witch, you remember, on Friday the 26th. That's how long it took me to make her and have her dry. Nothing to do with video editing or anything. So she took a little while to make. The majority of the time was the drying of the air dry clay and the drying of the foamy clay. That's what took the longest. This foamy clay is super thick. It actually, I had originally said it was going to take 24 hours to cure. It took almost 3 days before it was not squishy, and it still is slightly squishy, but it's not horrible. And because I didn't paint the bottom, it'll continue to cure. But this is her, and see, she has Marty Feldman's eyes. She's super creepy. I mean, oh my goodness. And then her hair, I trimmed it by taking a pair of scissors and cutting vertically, and that way she ended up having a more natural hair length rather than a straight across. And then her bubble and brew and her fire underneath her cauldron. So, if you found this video helpful, if you enjoyed this tutorial, if you think that you want to try to recreate this witch, please leave me a like down below. Hey, and I have 78% of you guys that actually watch my videos and are not subscribers. It's free. Hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And that way you'll get notified when I upload one of these little videos on this. And you will be one of the first people to know if you hit that notification bell and you choose all notifications. And that way we all become crafting family. Leave me comments. We can be crafty friends. I want lots of crafty friends. I want inspiration. I want you guys to give me input. So, the next tutorial is actually, we're going to get back to this tree stump. We are finally going to get back to the tree stump because now that I made the witch, I gotta get this done. So we're going to paint the wall, and we're going to paint the bedroom, and hopefully we'll just paint the whole rest of it. We'll paint it all. And then we will start with, we'll start with the wood stove. I made a sample of it, and I'm not quite sure if I'm happy with it. I might have to do another tweak. But again, I have these little wooden people. They remind me of those little Fisher Price people from when I was a kid. But I'm going to turn these into little gnomes. I'm going to build 2. And I'm going to do it out of baked clay. So they're going to be a little bit bigger because the witch is pretty decent size. I will insert a picture here on my craft desk with that tree stump and the witch. What do you think? You think I should get more stuff to decorate the tree stump for Halloween? I can't decorate the outside of my house. We're doing remodeling, so I don't have that option. So I might as well scale it down and do it into the tree stump. Maybe I make a little miniature Halloween tree. Decorate the inside for Halloween. Give me some ideas. Give me some inspiration. Leave your comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And guys, until my next upload, bye!